Do you have an Indian passport? If your answer is yes, does that document alone prove that you are an Indian citizen? If the passport itself clearly mentions nationality, Indian, then why is the government saying that a passport is not the final proof of citizenship in every situation? If a passport alone is not conclusive proof, then how is Indian citizenship established? Is it through an Aadhaar card? A voter ID? A birth certificate? Or is the government preparing to introduce a new system for proving citizenship in the future? Following a recent clarification issued by the Ministry of External Affairs, these questions have become the subject of nationwide debate. Social media is flooded with claims. Some people say that an Indian passport is no longer proof of citizenship. Others believe that this is the first step towards a future nationwide citizenship verification exercise. But how much of this is actually true? In today's video, we are not going to discuss politics. Instead, we will examine this issue purely from the perspective of the law, judicial decisions, official government clarifications, and verified legal principles. So, watch this video till the end, because half-truths and misinformation on this subject can easily create unnecessary confusion. Friends, I am happy that our channel has completed 1 lakh subscribers and has received the YouTube Silver Creator Award. Thank you for your continuous support. For more legal awareness videos, subscribe to the channel free of cost. You may also support the channel by taking a membership of 59 rupees or 119 rupees through the GPay QR code displayed on the screen. Now let us move towards today's main topic. Before discussing the controversy, it is important to understand what the government has actually said. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, an Indian passport is primarily a travel document issued under the Passport Act, 1967. The government has further clarified that where a person's citizenship itself becomes a matter of legal dispute, the passport alone cannot be treated as the final and conclusive proof of citizenship in every case. This single clarification triggered the present controversy. But does this mean that an Indian passport has lost its legal value? The answer is absolutely not. Why does an Indian passport mention nationality, Indian? This is an important legal point that deserves careful attention. Every Indian passport contains the holder's nationality, which is recorded as Indian. This means that while issuing the passport, the Government of India recognizes the holder as an Indian national. However, there is an important legal distinction. Having nationality, Indian, printed on a passport is not legally identical to treating the passport as conclusive proof of citizenship in every disputed case. If, in a particular case, a person's citizenship itself becomes legally disputed, a court or a competent authority is not required to decide the matter solely on the basis of the passport. Instead, the issue will be determined in accordance with the Citizenship Act, 1955, together with all other relevant evidence available in that particular case. This is the central legal issue behind the entire controversy. Understanding the difference between the Passport Act, 1967 and the Citizenship Act, 1955. To understand this controversy properly, we must first understand the distinction between these two laws. The Passport Act, 1967 primarily governs the issuance, refusal, suspension, impounding, and regulation of passports for international travel. Its principal purpose is to regulate foreign travel through passports. On the other hand, the Citizenship Act, 1955 determines who is an Indian citizen, how citizenship is acquired, and how questions relating to citizenship are decided under Indian law. This is why, under normal circumstances, an Indian passport remains an extremely important government document. However, where citizenship itself becomes the subject of a legal dispute, the final determination is made under the Citizenship Act, 1955, and not merely on the basis of the Passport Act. This brings us to the next important question. If a passport is not conclusive proof of citizenship in every disputed case, can an Aadhaar card, voter ID, PAN card, or birth certificate establish Indian citizenship? Let us examine that question in the next part. Part 2. Can an Aadhaar card, voter ID, PAN card, or birth certificate prove Indian citizenship? Now let us address the most important question. If the government says that a passport alone is not the final proof of citizenship in disputed cases, can any other document conclusively establish Indian citizenship? Let us examine each document separately. Aadhaar Card. First, let us consider the Aadhaar Card. Under Indian law, the primary purpose of Aadhaar is to establish a person's identity and facilitate access to government services and welfare schemes. An Aadhaar card is essentially a document relating to identity and residence, not citizenship. Therefore, an Aadhaar card by itself cannot be treated as conclusive proof of Indian citizenship. Voter ID card. Next comes the voter ID card. Only an Indian citizen is entitled to be enrolled as a voter under Indian election laws. Therefore, a voter ID is undoubtedly an important government document. However, if a person's citizenship itself becomes the subject of a legal dispute before a competent authority or a court, the voter ID alone may not conclusively determine that issue. The authority or the court may examine other relevant evidence as well. PAN card. Now let us look at the permanent account number, PAN card. The purpose of a PAN card is to facilitate the administration of income tax. In certain circumstances, even foreign nationals may obtain a PAN. Therefore, a PAN card cannot be regarded as proof of Indian citizenship. Driving license. Similarly, a driving license merely authorizes a person to drive a motor vehicle. Its legal purpose is entirely different. It is not a document intended to establish citizenship. Is a birth certificate the final proof of citizenship? Many people believe that possession of a birth certificate automatically proves Indian citizenship. The legal position, however, is more nuanced. India's citizenship laws have changed over time. In particular, for persons born on or after 1 July 1987 and 3 December 2004, citizenship by birth depends not only on the place of birth but also, in certain situations, on the citizenship status of one or both parents, as provided under the Citizenship Act, 1955. Therefore, a birth certificate alone may not be sufficient to conclusively establish citizenship in every case. The significance of the 2013 Bombay High Court decision. Let us now turn to the judgment referred to in the government's clarification. According to publicly available reports, the Bombay High Court observed in a 2013 case that where a person's citizenship itself is under challenge, the production of a passport or any single government document may not, by itself, conclusively establish citizenship. The court emphasized that such issues must be examined in the light of the Citizenship Act, 1955, together with all relevant facts and evidence. It is important to understand what this decision does not say. The judgment does not hold that an Indian passport is meaningless or legally insignificant. Rather, it clarifies that when citizenship itself is disputed, the final determination cannot rest solely on one document, including a passport. That is the true legal significance of the judgment. Should we doubt the government's intention? This is where the legal debate overlaps with political discussion. The government maintains that it has not enacted any new law. According to its official position, it has merely clarified the existing legal framework by distinguishing the role of the Passport Act, 1967 from that of the Citizenship Act, 1955. On the other hand, some opposition leaders and political commentators have expressed concerns that this clarification could eventually be followed by a broader citizenship verification mechanism or additional documentation requirements. However, one fact must be clearly stated. As of today, the Government of India has made no official announcement regarding any nationwide citizenship verification exercise or any proposal requiring citizens to obtain a new citizenship document. Therefore, such claims remain matters of political opinion or speculation rather than established legal fact. A responsible legal analysis must always distinguish between verified facts and future possibilities. This naturally brings us to the final question. Should ordinary Indian citizens be worried? Let us answer that question in the concluding part of this discussion. Part 3. Should ordinary Indian citizens really be concerned? By now, we have understood what the government has actually said. The distinction between the Passport Act, 1967 and the Citizenship Act, 1955. Why every Indian passport mentions nationality, Indian. Why a passport, despite being an important government document, may not be treated as conclusive proof of citizenship in every disputed case. And the legal status of an Aadhaar card, voter ID, PAN card, driving license, and birth certificate. Now let us answer the most important question. Should an ordinary Indian citizen be worried? Based on the present legal position, the answer is: in ordinary circumstances, no. If you possess a validly issued Indian passport and your citizenship is not under any legal or judicial dispute, the government's recent clarification does not change your legal status or affect your day-to-day rights. The government has not stated that Indian passports have become invalid. Every citizen must prove citizenship again. A new citizenship certificate is now mandatory. Or voting rights will depend upon obtaining a new document. No such official announcement has been made. Therefore, it would be unwise to draw legal conclusions merely from social media posts, political statements, or unverified claims. What is the most important legal lesson from this controversy? This entire debate teaches us three important legal principles. First, every government document serves a different legal purpose. A passport is primarily meant for international travel. Aadhaar establishes identity and facilitates access to government services. A voter ID relates to electoral rights. A PAN card is designed for income tax administration. A driving license authorizes a person to drive a motor vehicle. Each of these documents has legal significance, but none of them exists for exactly the same purpose. Second, in law, there is an important distinction between evidence and conclusive proof. A document may constitute strong and valuable evidence, yet if the underlying legal issue itself is disputed, a court may examine additional evidence before reaching its final conclusion. The same principle applies to questions relating to citizenship. Third, and most important, the determination of Indian citizenship continues to be governed by the Citizenship Act, 1955. The government's recent clarification has not amended or altered this law. It merely reiterates that where citizenship itself becomes a matter of dispute, the issue must be decided under the Citizenship Act and on the basis of all relevant evidence. Final conclusion. Let us briefly summarize the discussion. An Indian passport remains a valid and highly significant government-issued travel document. Every Indian passport records the holder's nationality as Indian. Under ordinary circumstances, a passport carries substantial evidentiary value. The government has not declared Indian passports invalid. The government has not directed citizens to prove their citizenship again. If citizenship becomes disputed in a particular case, the issue will be determined under the Citizenship Act, 1955, on the basis of all relevant evidence. As of today, there is no official announcement introducing a new citizenship document or a nationwide citizenship verification program. Therefore, before accepting or sharing any claim regarding this issue, it is always advisable to verify it through authentic legal sources and official government statements. Closing remarks. The purpose of law is not to create fear or confusion, but to provide clarity. Likewise, the purpose of this channel is not to support or oppose any political ideology. Our objective is to explain the law in a simple, balanced, and fact-based manner so that you can form your own informed opinion. If the government introduces any new law or policy in the future, or if the Supreme Court of India delivers any significant judgment on this issue, we will certainly bring you a detailed and unbiased legal analysis. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this information useful, please like the video, subscribe free of cost, and share your views in the comments. For more legal insights, do not forget to press the bell icon. I shall meet you again soon in the next video. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.